Can you see it now?
Yep, we got it. Thank you.
Cool. So going back, let me go back once. Well, that's the second slide. So American Airlines, to give a quick background, started its passenger service back in 1936. And since then, it's grown to become the largest airline fleet in the world. Here's an example of the aircraft, some of the aircraft that American Airlines flies. And on the left side are what we call the wide body fleet, the 777-200, the 777-300, and the Boeing 787-8 and Boeing 787-9, which is often called the Dreamliner. For the domestic fleet, we fly the Airbus A321, the 737-800, which sometimes is called the 737 Next Generation, and of course the 737 MAX, and also the A319, which sometimes is called the baby bus. And just to give you, if you're wondering how to tell if you board a plane, if you're in a wide body or narrow body or not, if you board the plane and you see two aisles between the rows of seats, then you are on a wide body aircraft. Again, primarily the international routes like going to Europe and Asia are in a wide body fleet. For example, I've had a privilege as an airline employee of traveling directly from Dallas to several Asian destinations like Hong Kong, Korea, and Japan. One of my most memorable experiences was boarding a 787-8. If you ever board that plane, it will have the large windows, and the windows actually are electronically dimmable, unlike the plastic shades where you move up and down manually. And American flies one of their longest routes directly from Dallas to Hong Kong. That's like a 17-hour flight. So basically, you almost lose track of time because the flight's so long. And as the flight progresses, I look out the window and I'm wondering, we can travel to Asia within hours, and in the past, it'd probably take days. So one of the first people you'll probably meet when you board your flight will be our gate agents. For example, our gate agent to the right. In fact, there are other than the gate agents, there are thousands of AA team members that make that flight possible. Amongst these are over 290 fleet engineers or engineers in several roles like fleet engineering, which support the different aircraft that we fly, support engineering, which I am part of, propulsion engineering, which manages the reliability and safety of our different engine models like the GE NX, the GE 90, the Trent 892, the LEAP engines, and the V2500. Avionics engineering, which is primarily focused on communication and navigation, and interiors, which actually manages the aircraft seating layout and in-flight entertainment. Today, I'm going to focus on software, the software engineering team, because they're a subset of avionics engineering. So software. So you think with an airline, there's no software involved in aircraft. In fact, it's far from the truth. Today's aircraft are digital aircraft. So I'm going to talk about three topics. One is tooling and equipment, follow up with configuration, and close up with predictive maintenance. Likely many of you have seen computer racks full of equipment. The same thing occurs on the plane. So typically at the front of the plane, the front belly, right below where the crew sit, there's racks of electronic equipment, like the picture shown below. Each of these equipment had performed a certain function like communication, navigation, and flight control. As you see, some of the equipment may look similar. And in fact, yes, some equipment, sometimes two or three, can perform the same function. This is to prevent that if you have a single failure of equipment, it will not have an adverse effect on flight safety. In the past, most of the software was loaded at the factory, or you had to take the part off the aircraft and send it to a shop. Nowadays, there's a movement towards what's called field loadable software. And to do that, you use a portable data loader, which is that picture in the middle, in that orange box. And in the next screen, I'll show you how that software gets moved from the portable data loader to the aircraft. So it starts with the mechanic being assigned a task. And the task can be paper-based or sometimes electronically. In this case, it's to load software. So what the mechanic does is they grab the PDL or portable data loader and hook up to a secure network connection, then download the software for that aircraft and that particular piece of equipment. The mechanic then takes that PDL, goes to the aircraft, and plugs that into a port on the flight deck and then loads software, and afterwards does an operational check. So you may ask yourself the question, how does software and equipment tie together? In fact, it's configuration. American Airlines flies more than 900 aircraft across the globe. And as each generation of aircraft is delivered, it comes with a variety of equipment. And as the airplane ages, the equipment can be changed and there can be software enhancements. If I were to use a loose analogy, imagine an iPhone 1 with iOS 15 software. It just won't work. Aircraft are the same way. You have to have the correct equipment and the correct software. As with most equipment, over time, it's bound to fail or malfunction. And this is where predictive maintenance happens. There are a lot of sensors on the plane that track vibration, temperature, pressure, noise, and the equipment, electronic equipment on the aircraft, stores that, and that can be used actually when the plane's flying or the plane lands, that data can be analyzed. Along with this, operational data, like where the plane is flown, parts data, where the part came from, history, and log page data, basically those are the write-ups that the mechanics or pilots write up. Taken together, they can predict when the part will fail, and this will ensure that the part meets the aircraft at a location where the maintenance can be accomplished. So to close my short presentation, I'd like to credit Solange Farley-Matos. She actually works in the aircraft software engineering group at American Airlines, and she provided some of the material I use in my presentation. And to end, I'd like to close out with a picture of our 2022 lunar celebration here at American Airlines. Thank you. Gracias.